Good morning. Today is Tuesday, the 22nd of January, 2013. Here's all the news it's worth talking about in Panama today. The Panamanian government is going to present a new law, and what they're going to do is change the way that bearer shares are handled. Right now, a bearer share is basically a document that there's no tracking of it. It's like a blank check. If you have it in your hands, you can have your company set up so that there are bearer shares issued, and then the bearer shares can just be passed from one person to another. And they're going to change the way those are handled. Basically, they're going to remove the anonymity, and they're going to make it more transparent. The Organization for Economic Cooperation or Cooperation and Development has been complaining about the way Panama handles bearer shares, and they say that it lends itself to laundering money for drug trafficking or for terrorists or what have you. Because Panama is now becoming a more important player on the world stage economically. The OECD is basically threatening them that if you don't clean this up, then we're going to put you on some kind of a blacklist or something. And Panama is caving in to them once again. So this has been a trend under the administration of Ricardo Martinelli to do what they want in order to make Panama a more serious country on the world stage from the questions of economics and finance and the international movements of money. So anyway, that's a change. It's coming. Heads up. All right. On the cover of the Panama America today, they're saying that now the average, actually they're saying 1 out of every 3 Panamanians is carrying a credit card debt of about $1,900 on credit cards. There's a total of $1.2 billion in credit card debt, and the average credit card interest rate is 24%. So that's a relatively big change. That there's more and more credit cards being issued to Panamanian consumers, and they're using them more frequently. And that's not something that used to happen a lot like that. But anyway, now it is. Okay, over to the Estrella. The residents of Puerto Caimito have closed the street. They're protesting, and they're basically unhappy with a construction project having to do with road construction. They're saying they want it they want their road fixed. So it's just a small little local protest, but these things pop up with regularity. Okay. In La Critica, they found almost a ton of cocaine in the Atlantic coast of Panama, on what they call the upper coast, or the Costa Arriba, and it was up a river and in a cave, and apparently they got tipped. There were 38 of these big packages, and each packages has, the packages are big enough so that one man can carry them. That's what they do. That's why they do it that way. They're wrapped in plastic. They're watertight. And it's a one-man backpack, so you can carry these things and move them off a ship or put them in a cave or what have you. Well, they found these things. This was the Sinan. So here we are, the first couple of weeks of January, and they just had a big drug bust. Last year, they busted a total of 34.9 tons of coke. And the year before, it was 43.7. So it's trending down, primarily because the Panamanians are getting more efficient at busting them. So the drug traffickers are trying to go other routes. Okay, over to the Telemetro. There's still this negotiation between the firemen and the government. The firemen are now, they've been sitting down and talking for days, and they're talking of things about human resources and equipment and pay raise, and not so much pay raise, but the getting funded agreements that have already been reached. Well, the firemen are successfully putting pressure on the government to sit down and listen to them, and they're gonna, it's not so much of a strike, but they're getting their concerns addressed. Okay, over to TVN. On the 23rd, this weekend, or actually coming up this weekend, and it starts on the 23rd, which is tomorrow, Wednesday, the Acobir, it's the real estate expo, which is held every year at the at Lapa Convention Center. There's going to be more than 150 presenters, and banks will be there, and there's more than 25,000 people attend. It's one of the best ways where you can, if you're interested in buying real estate, or if you just like to take the temperature of the market to see what's being offered and what's available and what the price points are. Because with any of these developers, you can sit down and say, hey, I'm really interested. What have you got available in this building? And I want an apartment that's that big. And what's the price for that? You know, so you can get a good idea of things like price per square meter and what's being built and what's available. And it's just you know, the whole market all in one place on one day. So it's cool to go check out. Okay, now there's still a conflict. This is out of the Siegel. There's still a conflict going on between the MeBus company. The MeBus company are the guys that control the new Metro buses. It's under contract for the government, and they're the management company that operates the big orange and white Metro buses. Now, those bus drivers are trying to get more money out of the company. They're asking for $800 a month. They're now getting paid $550 a month. The bus drivers have been saying $800 a month so often and so frequently in the press that it's kind of become that, well, that's how much we're going to get paid. Well, and the manager of the MeBus company came out today and said, we never accepted that number. I believe that there's probably an ongoing negotiation process where they'll end up getting paid more, but they're not going to be getting paid that more. And the problem is, and here's the crunch, okay? The math and the numbers for all of this MeBus operation is based on a subsidy from the Panamanian government. So the price of the fare of the bus, what it costs to ride the bus, is being kept artificially low thanks to a subsidy from the government. So if all of a sudden you increase your labor costs, because you've got, what, 1,200 buses out there, 1,500 buses, you've got all these buses driving around, and if you increase the cost for every one of those bus drivers from $550 a month to $800 a month, well then, wow, you know, all of a sudden the math doesn't work. So, and at any time the government can go, you know what, we're not paying this subsidy anymore, and so that goes to zero, but we're going to authorize you to raise the bus rates. Well, if that happens, the bus rates are going to like double or maybe even triple, because you got to, you know, the numbers have got to work out. It's a zero-sum game. You know, there's, you know, operating costs and the cost of labor are in there. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. The negotiations are not done yet. All right, let me breeze through these last couple of stories here really quick. In the Mediadio, there was a worker who fell from the 13th floor of an apartment building under construction in Punta Pacifica. 25-year-old kid. He'd only been working for 4 days, and he had 4 children that he left behind. You know, nobody's trying to put any blame on anybody, you know, besides him. Apparently he wasn't using the proper safety gear or whatever, but, you know. Oh, and so far we're only on the 22nd of the year. So far, three construction workers have already died. So it's a dangerous occupation. Okay, in Panama City, they arrested a guy named Mario Smith. He's a accused narco trafficker. Him and his brother. His brother was arrested in Honduras, and they're a couple of Colombian alleged drug traffickers that they were running cocaine from the San Andres Islands and up through Central America and into the United States. So they were arrested and they're being extradited back to Colombia. Okay, that's it. That's all the news it's worth talking about today. Today is the 22nd of January, 2013. Thanks for watching. I'm out. I'm done. Have a great day. Bye.